2019 novel coronavirus, abbreviated as Covid-19. The data for this lecture was assembled April 10, 2020. The numbers of reported cases for COVID-19 have probably gone up since then. In the image to the left, we can see some structural similarities between the coronavirus and the bacteriophage, which we saw in our previous lecture. You can see that the RNA is in the center of the virus. The next layer is the capsid, and the surface proteins, encompassed by both the spike proteins and the envelope proteins, are on the very exterior of the virus structure. The nucleocapsid protein, abbreviated as N, is bound to the RNA genome and makes up the nucleocapsid. The spike protein, abbreviated as S, is critical for binding of host cell receptors and facilitates entry of host cell. The envelope protein, abbreviated as E, interacts with M to form the viral envelope. Membrane protein, abbreviated as M, is the central organizer of the CoV assembly. This determines the shape of the viral envelope. Note that not all these proteins are necessary for virions, meaning new generation viruses. Some proteins can substitute for other structural needs. Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that are known to cause illness, ranging from the common cold to more severe cases such as MERS and SARS. The novel coronavirus was first identified in Wuhan, China. This is a new coronavirus that has not been previously identified in humans. Severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, was first reported in Asia in February of 2003. The illness spread to more than 24 countries in North America, South America, Europe, and Asia before the SARS global outbreak of 2003 was contained. Since 2004, there have not been any known cases of SARS reported anywhere in the world. Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, is a viral respiratory illness that was first reported in Saudi Arabia in 2012 and has since spread to several other countries, including the US. Most people infected with MERS-CoV developed severe respiratory illness, including fever, cough, and shortness of breath. At the emergence of the coronavirus, we collected this data, or this data was collected. I merely reported it. But note that the numbers have gone up. This data is from March 25th, 2020. So the total number of cases globally was 457,795. The recovered cases were 113,744, 25%. deaths were 20,816, 5%. Total number of cases in China were 20,816, 5%. Total number of deaths in China were 3,281, 16%. 376,577 were the total number of cases outside of China, and the total number of deaths outside of China were 17,535. Overall crude case fatality rate, percent estimated, is 4 to 5%. As was previously stated, COVID-19 was first reported in Wuhan, China, on December 31, 2019. The virus has since spread to several other countries, including the US, with 873 deaths reported. A large number of cases were also reported in South Korea, Iran, Italy, Germany, France, Spain, Japan, USA, and Switzerland. New cases are being reported in Central and South America. Most people infected with COVID-19 develop severe respiratory illness, including fever, cough, and shortness of breath. Mortality in most cases has been seen in the elderly and in individuals with comorbidities or weakened immune systems. This graph shows us the distribution of lab-confirmed cases worldwide. Europe is shown in yellow, America in orange, Asia is in gray, and the faint blue is Oceania and Africa. This image shows a distribution of lab-confirmed cases by continent. This is a representation of the cases as of April 10, 2020. The faint yellow shows countries with the least amount of cases. Darker yellow bordering on orange is the second largest amount of cases, followed by darker orange, brown, and dark brown, with the largest amount of cases. Countries depicted in gray show countries and territories without cases reported. This graph shows us the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the US. The 5 states in the US with the largest amount of COVID confirmed cases are in order of decreasing cases are New York, New Jersey, Michigan, California, and Massachusetts. A superspreader. In general, this is where infected persons infect a number of other individuals directly or indirectly. This happens in many diseases, including the common cold or the common flu. Where people have weakened immune systems, behaviors, or degree of contact, travel patterns can contribute to the spread, but they are hard to trace. A person can spread the virus without exhibiting symptoms. In recent cases, the status of a superspreader occurred where a British man catches COVID-19 in Singapore, recovers, but then infects 11 people. Previously occurring, a patient in South Korea with MERS virus dies and infects 82 people. Still more previously, a doctor with SARS virus in Hong Kong dies and infects more than 100 people. These are examples of superspreaders. COVID-19 cruise ship lab confirmed cases. The Diamond Princess cruise ship was quarantined in Japan since February 3, 2020. 696 confirmed cases and 7 deaths followed. There were about 400 Americans on the ship. The returning passengers have been subjected to a 14-day quarantine and will be housed at 2 locations: Travis Air Force Base in California and Joint Base in San Antonio, Lockland in Texas. Passengers were screened before leaving Japan to avoid symptomatic people from boarding the plane. Once they returned to the U.S., the passengers were housed separately from the evacuees from the Hubei province. COVID-19 nursing home outbreak, Seattle, Washington, USA. This outbreak occurred at the Life Care in Kirkland, Washington. There were 108 residents and 180 staff. 50% showed no signs and symptoms, and 16 fatalities resulted. Based on data from China, the disease kills nearly 15% of people over the age of 80 and 8% of people in their 70s, the very population that makes up more than half of the population of U.S. nursing homes and long-term assisted living facilities. This outbreak exposed the great vulnerability of the nation's nursing homes and long-term assisted living facilities and the 2.5 million Americans who live in them. How COVID-19 spreads. There is much to learn still about the newly emerged COVID-19, including how and how easily it spreads. Based on what is currently known, COVID-19 and SARS-MERS-CoV spread is thought to occur mostly from person to person via respiratory droplets among close contacts. Close contact can occur while caring for a patient, including being within approximately 6 feet or 2 meters of a patient with COVID-19 for a prolonged period of time.